right. Well, good morning again. Another exciting episode of Yes Way Jose.
Oh, this is an exciting one?
Yeah. Well, all of them are exciting.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't say that every time.
Well, I just thought I'd try something different.
Oh, okay.
You know, the weather's getting a little warmer. We're up to like double digits now.
Yeah,
You know,
for real.
I'm not freezing like a popsicle.
I totally called it, by the way. There was an episode where I was editing an episode, from a couple months back, and I said, oh, yeah, by the time this episode comes out, it might be like -5. And when I was editing the episode, it was like -5 outside. Yeah.
So see what a forecast. You could be a weatherman because you're more accurate than they are.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. We want to make sure that, we always have fun guests on, but today we're going to have a lot of fun because this guy, he'll know a lot of what we have to do here at this city. Yeah, I'll give you the hints in a minute. But anyway, so what? We have an email address, don't we?
Yeah, it's yeswayjosemail@gmail.com.
You do that pretty good, but if you had your sidekick here, which we had to fire him again.
Yeah.
Because
he's actually babysitting my children.
Okay, so we're just going to suspend him?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
it's just
I'm not going to pay him for babysitting, so that's a punishment. He has to babysit.
So he doesn't get paid for being on the show because he never gets paid.
Yeah.
And then he's not getting paid for babysitting the kids.
Right, yeah.
Does he have another job? Oh, he has the UPS.
He does, yeah. I had to wake him up to watch my kids.
Okay, so does he have lunch or breakfast or something coming to him?
I don't know.
Is he going to raid your refrigerator?
Yeah, well, yeah, he lives with his parents still, so it's fine.
So he's used to doing that.
Yeah, he raids the refrigerator every time he eats.
All right. Well, just let him know we said hello. And thank you for babysitting, Eli. Well, anyway, good morning, everybody. Obviously, we mentioned the email address, but we do a lot of these podcasts to make sure people get information. And we're we're talking about 5,000 people viewing this podcast.
Yeah, we're getting big. We're hitting the big time.
Man, so maybe we should start working for money in the side. That's the mayor stuff.
Yeah.
I don't do it with the show. But you know what? Maybe I can do that because if I'm really good at taking money and funneling it in my pocket.
Yeah, I hear that you're just smuggling money everywhere.
I've got pockets full of money. Not in this pants. Maybe
this is in his other pants.
It's in the other pants.
Yeah.
So anyway,
good morning. Smuggling pants.
Well, yeah. See, I have to keep that smuggling pants. I remember the term. We make up words as we go along. But anyway, good morning. And listen, we are really excited. We're getting into. Hopefully, it's thawing out. And when this episode comes out, we're looking probably March sometime.
Yeah, if it's not thawed out by then, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah, if they're not thawing out by then.
My driveway is still ice.
Yeah. Oh my! Well, yeah, I did. There's some pieces I didn't do. My wife was out there going like, "What are you doing?"
Well, it's like solid ice, and like the front of my house doesn't get sun, so it's just a shadow, so it just doesn't melt. I'm just waiting. It's gonna have to be like 50 degrees for it to melt. I think.
Well, I don't. Yeah, every year I did all that stuff, and when we had snow, because this is really the first snow we've had in about like 7 years.
Yeah, first big snow.
Yeah, so not a big deal. But I think the biggest thing for us is like we kind of spoiled.
Yeah.
So
I kind of like not having snow all the time now. Every time we have a big snow, I'm like, I kind of like not doing this.
Did you do Snow Angel?
No, my wife did have you seen the?
What is that?
No, not the Snow Angel, but have you seen the one where you just stick your face in the snow and make it makes a perfect imprint of your face?
No.
Yeah, my wife was like, I'm gonna go try something while it was snowing, and so I was like sitting there looking out the window, and I watched her walk out there and just stick her face in the snow. I'm like, what are you doing?
When did she start therapy?
Yeah, right. Yeah, she needs it. No. She had a brain freeze after that.
Yeah. The whole head was frozen. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, good morning again. Listen, I want to introduce you to a really cool dude. He's a great guy, and he has a glorious job like I have.
I was going to say, you guys are going to be commiserating over here.
Oh, we're going to be inside trading here. All right, so good morning, Stuart Owen. He is the mayor of Shepherdsville. No, he's actually the mayor of Mount Washington.
He's taking your job.
Yep, he's taking my job. I have to get my stuff out today. Anyway, good morning, Stuart.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. And he is the mayor of Mount Washington, a great community. But so listen, first of all, good morning to you. We're hoping that when we have a bunch of sunshine when this thing comes out and go, oh, look at this, Stuart came on the podcast and it's now sunshine. But we're glad to have you on the show. But, when we talked before and we've been on the phone, we talk about all the things that we do. How's the mayor stuff going on over there?
It's going well.
Right.
And enjoying it, having fun with it.
Yeah, I'm having fun with it too. But we are obviously talking about things. So what I'd like to do is obviously I really do think a lot of what Mount Washington has done over the years. You guys have done a great plan. You've had things out there. So talk a little bit about what your community's like. I adore a lot of your sports programs and all the things that you do out there. But talk about that, amphitheater, what you're doing, kind of things like that first, and I'll just interject. I'm kind of quiet. Every once in a while I'll say something.
Right.
Yeah, you really got to goad him into talking sometimes.
Absolutely.
What?
Yes.
Right. Well, tell us a little bit about Mount Washington. Most people know.
We have a great community. Right there, Mount Washington. A population about 21,000 people. We have a lot going on. You were talking about our amphitheater and everything. We have an awesome park, sports complex, which lays adjacent to our business park. That's really taken off over the last couple years or so. Amphitheater, they built that. Of course, COVID set in. Took a year or two to get it up and running, but we're having some really cool concerts out there. They're drawing upwards of 3,000, 3,500 people.
Oh, wow.
For the concert, so we're real excited about that. We're actually looking at adding some things.
I was going to say I didn't think it was that big. How big? How many seats does it have?
Well, it's tight.
I was about to say,
it's packed. Yeah, we have people sitting behind the amphitheater, all around the park, listening. But the biggest thing is parking. We're adding parking, adding some bathrooms to it. But and then the ball fields. I mean, we're doing real well. Our parks director.
Just so you know, I actually pitched on that one ball field right there that's in the front there as you come into the big baseball field, the high school field.
Sure.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
You said pitched, right?
Pitched,
okay, just making sure it didn't sound like that.
No, I did. I did.
It sounded like you did something else on the field.
No. That's what it sounded like. Yeah, in center field, I was by myself and I looked out and yes, that's what I did. No, that's a no.
Pitching is better. That's better.
Actually, I played in the outfield and I pitched in this older league that we play in. But we played on that facility a couple of times, and it's really nice out there, and it's very community minded. Because I mean, when we were out there were kids going back to the other fields back there, and it was all family. It was just fun. You got pavilion areas out there too. So the thing that I like, and this is one of the sidebar things that we're trying to find out how we can do it here, is you guys purchased Old Bardstown Road, and so that's the road within the city.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes,
so you get to do what you want to do on that road. We'd like to do that on Preston.
We get to put Christmas lights.
That's right. I like that.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. When you come down through there, it's all looking nice, and then right there at the corner of Bardstown Road and 44, always looks nice. You got a lot of nice lighting out there. Got a big thing about the state champions out there too in football.
Yes.
So you purchased it from the state?
Well, it didn't have to purchase it,
okay.
But it was a process. State approached us a couple years ago, and actually before I got there, probably
they approached you. That's the difference.
There you go. And so it was a process. We worked through it, and now we have the.
It's really cool. It's really cool. It's a great drive through that area. It makes you. It really feels like a community.
Yes.
And those are the kind of things that you see like in Bardstown and see what you guys do there. But any town has some things like that. So it's things like that we see in Mount Washington. We feel like we're really accelerating some things because we're building an aquatic center.
We are. We're building an amphitheater too.
Amphitheater.
Yeah. We're going to have competing amphitheaters. Yeah.
Well, the running joke is I got to always make sure I say aquatic center at least once, but I say at least once. At least once every episode.
He's said it 3 times already.
Aquatic center.
You crushed our parks director's dreams. He had thought about
you got some great
center.
You got some great people there. You got some great people.
We do.
You do actually have a lot of facilities that make it very family oriented. Obviously, you're like us. Land is always the big piece now.
Yes.
It's getting crowded a little bit over there, and as you look which way you got to go, east, a little bit west, and you got to figure all that piece out. But
absolutely,
yeah, I think the thing for me is we look at being mayor. For us, we're wanting to come in and continue to improve our community, and that's a goal of yours. Always has been. For
sure,
you're a nice guy. But you know what? If you'd spend more time on Facebook and listen to the people say things to us, you would be a better mayor. You'd be a better mayor.
You're exactly right.
I mean,
for sure.
If it's on Facebook, it's
true.
It's true.
Yeah, 100% fact.
Yes.
I wonder what mayor school do they go to. They sit behind the keyboard there, and I wonder how many courses did they take?
Yeah, not very many, I don't think.
It's fun. We joke about that because, I want people to be engaged as you do too. I know when I see something on Facebook and it's really something constructive, I try to reach out to them personally and just say, hey, appreciate your thoughts. What are you thinking, right? Your door's open like my door's open. We've got good people in our community. But what we don't like, and I'm willing to talk about this, on this show, I'm always going to tell you when it comes to Facebook, social media can be a good thing for us. But as mayors, we need people to understand, if you have a concern, you can yell all you want if you got a problem. We'd love to hear your solution.
Bingo.
Is that about right?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
We bring solutions, not just the problem.
Yeah, and we know that when we come into office, we're looking at a utopia. We know that we've got some roads we want to fix. We're obviously in a fishbowl out here in Shepherdsville with a floodplain. But we need people to understand that both of us, we did the work to become mayors because we want to do something good for our community.
Yes.
Right? because it wasn't like $1 million, except for the money that I was still trying to get from the good old boys.
Yeah.
It's like, where's that money at? I mean, is it on some kind of Venmo that I don't know about?
I don't know. People act like that. You know, the $30 million to do all the renovation stuff. They act like that you are getting that money sometimes.
No, I do. You
seems
should see the mansion I'm building.
Yeah, right.
It's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, heated driveways and stuff. I will never be able to have a problem with the snow.
Yeah.
I click one button and the driveway will be just nice and dry. Yeah. And I just drive on up there. No, all kidding aside, I think it's important for people to truly understand being an elected official. And we both have had to learn that, you know, people will say things and we do not respond, but we want to hear from you. But come by our office.
Yes.
I think that most people in Mount Washington know where your office is, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, and they know where mine is. And so we encourage you to do that. So with kidding a little bit about some of the few comments that we get, I think most people really like the idea that we're getting in there, we're trying to make things work, we're trying to create a good work environment that would keep everybody working on the right thing. So what's coming up? We always have our fun things, our festivals. You mentioned the amphitheater. You always have a good time. What you got coming up this year?
Well, we actually attended a meeting last night. Our spring festival will be rolling around here. Yes. And
cool.
So we'll talk a little bit about that. I think that'll be coming around in
That's
May.
always a good turn. Yeah.
It is.
It's a good turnout for that.
Yeah, I was going to say nothing before March. Don't talk about anything before March.
Not with this weather, right?
Right.
It does get it does get a little cold, but it's always a great event.
Yeah. So always good turnout there.
What else you got going on?
Revitalizing Old Bardstown Road. You know, touched on that just a little bit while ago. Us taking over the street, of course. Now it is a city-owned street, which offers us some great advantages. It lets us do what we want to do on with the street. Joking about the Christmas lights a while ago, we're not having to get permits from the state now.
Yeah.
So that's good. But the big thing is the revitalization. You know, buildings. We've seen, I think, 11 buildings be renovated. New facades on them over the last couple years. 3 or 4 have been torn down. The cornerstone of the community, right
so
there.
remember, okay, I just wanted on the record, there's another mayor in Bullitt County just tearing down buildings. So now we have 2 of us. You know, I think we went to the same school of demolition.
Yes, absolutely.
We did. And we got our certificates so we can tear down buildings.
I took a lot of heat over that.
Yeah,
a lot of heat over it. And not just buildings, but the trees. The mayor doesn't like buildings. Now he doesn't like the trees. I cut down 2 trees.
So why don't you like trees?
2 whole trees?
Well, 2 whole trees.
What did you?
But they were pretty trees.
I hate
nice trees.
Yeah.
With historical.
You hate to cut down a pretty tree.
Yes.
Well, and we get it. And I think that's the thing I like to laugh a little bit about, because we are really trying to do what's right. I mean, and again, when we tear down a building, it's probably not inhabitable. In our case, it wasn't, and I think in your case, it wasn't as well.
Correct.
So people just need to understand we are going to try to restore any historic buildings we can, but it's important that we aesthetically keep growing and keep doing things. I think when you get done with that Old Bardstown Road section, I think it's going to look nice.
Yes.
I mean, it really has a good feel down there now.
Thank you.
But I'm excited to wait to see how that goes. But
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And I love old buildings. I love old architecture.
Right, yeah,
I've restored
yeah.
a couple of them. No one wants to keep that more than I do. But the buildings we tore down, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
They were not salvageable. We had 2 or 3 people walk through them. I walked through with a couple developers, a couple builders, and they said you cannot salvage these buildings. It just can't be done.
Yeah.
It's not practical.
So
we moved to the tree.
That's what we need to do when you're going to tear down a building. You need to have like a one day where it's just like an open tour and let people walk through and be like, this is why we're tearing it down.
I got a good one for you. So the building, there wasn't a lot of, there were some memories about the building that was at the corner of Joby Hall and Buckman. And it was funny because, you know, we bought the property. We knew we were going to tear the building because that's the entrance into our town square, into the park area, because we don't have a town square. Sure. And so when I went up in that building, I mean, it scared me like the building was going to collapse. So when we started demolition, no lie, there was a beam on the back side of that building, and you could already tell where the brick was already separating in places and cracking really bad. They hit this one beam, and the back half of that building fell.
Just fell, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and there's pictures of it. So we I think people do understand. It's kind of, I think that we joke about Facebook. I'd like people to have these passions before you do that. You know, I'm a firm believer that if you can't say something nice before you say something bad, then why are you saying anything? And the reason why I say that is because if they can't figure out the good things that you've done as a mayor in the time that you've been there, and then say, hey, I'd like to see you work a little harder on this, or I would love that, because, you know, we're building an aquatic center.
Yep, right.
And, you know, we're building all these park plans.
I need like a little sound effect for every time you do it.
I think I get $1 every time I say that. Or you get $1. One of us gets $1.
I don't get $1.
No, I think I get it. But it's more importantly that people see that all these things are going on. We put on things for the kids, the free clinics and stuff. So
yes.
we want people to realize that are we going to be perfect mayors? No. But we're going to always think what's best for our community. Yes. And working with our department heads and all of the employees, you got a great staff of people over there, as we do too. Yes. I just think people need to kind of keep that in mind. We loved hearing from you, but it's not all negative.
Right.
Show us some that you've paid attention to other things that we've done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, when there's negative things, come talk to the mayor before you put it, just go blasting them out on Facebook to everybody. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like just posting your grievances on a bulletin board and just being like,
like the mayor said, we're trying to do the right thing. We're trying to do the right thing for the city. We love our cities. That's why we took this job.
That's exactly right.
We love
we worked
it. We
hard
love the
to
community.
get here.
Yes, yes.
And I mean, and you come talk to them, you might still disagree with them, but at least you'll hear their side of the story and know the facts of what's going on. You know what I mean?
And the one thing that I have learned is if you do the personal message or get people to come and see you, they respect that you made time for them.
Yes.
Everybody that I've talked to in the 2 years plus that we've both been mayors, people just appreciate that you listen to them.
Right.
And we're here to listen.
100%.
We are here to listen. But, again, we may not always agree on what is going to be done. Might be a cost, might be staffing, might be something we can't do right now.
Sure.
But, I try to make sure people know that it's been a long time since this community has really had somebody in place that's got the visions of a Mount Washington or an E-Town or Bardstown, right? So we now have this in place to, and listen, you guys are standard bearers for us. We know that we're still the little kid. We're still sitting at one of the smaller tables, but our day's coming. We're coming.
You're doing great things.
I always tell
you
Stuart,
guys got the high ground.
I told Stuart, I said, we're coming for you. We're coming for you.
Yes.
But I do think it's a great community. And I think for people to know on this podcast, when we tell them we want them to meet people, we want them to know who Stuart Owen is. We want them to, I want people to listen to this podcast and say,
yes,
you got a guy that's genuinely just got a honest agenda. He doesn't look sneaky at all.
No, not at all.
He's got the all-American look, right? It's like I don't think he could break a pencil. I don't think he would.
He was wearing one of those burglars masks when he came in,
he
but
did?
he took it off though, so now he looks fine.
Weren't supposed to mention that.
Well, we might have issues. Going to mention lock the safe up at City Hall. We got another mayor here trying to take some of our money. No, but I think it's important to laugh a little bit about it. But I want people to really get excited because we haven't had that excitement like you guys have. And I mean that in all the really the nicest ways, because it takes good leadership through the years. But I think it's even tougher sometimes when it is where it is and then you become the mayor. Absolutely. So, it's kind of like I got a lot of upside here. Well, you've got a situation where you're up here and as far as the standards, and I think you're doing the kind of things that people want to continue to see. Your park plans, how you keep doing the kind of community activities that you do, restoring your downtown area. So you got some good focuses. And I think really, so what do you want people to know about Stuart Owen, except for getting you a Christmas card with $5 in it or something? What do you want?
Well, that would be great.
So make sure we'll get you an address, send it to City Hall, Mount Washington, send them a Christmas card with $5.
That's right. Yeah, just that I love my community, and I'm here working hard for you. And as you mentioned, I have an open door policy. Come up, bring the solutions. We're working hard. We're looking into the future. We have to do that, and I think that's one thing. You mentioned
you're going to touch on something. This is going to be another 30-minute section here.
We try to be forward thinking, but I'm open to ideas. This is your community, and talking about people coming up with solutions. If you bring a problem, bring a solution. One thing that I've learned and I've seen is we're Bullitt East. We're getting a lot of emails from their students that are throwing ideas at us, and I think that is awesome to see the youth engaged in the community. That is, and they're bringing solutions. There was a young lady that sent an email a month or two ago, and talking about some of the older buildings. What we're just talking about, right? Revitalization. But she was talking about what can we do with these buildings, and I wrote her back and asked her, what do you think we can do? What can we do to facilitate this, move this forward, and what would you like to see here? And she wrote back and threw several ideas at us. Cool. And we use those, when we're out there.
and that's the engagement you want. The reason why I said there's going to be another episode is because what I was going to go with he said is the progress piece. Now, so we do, in Bullitt County, just so you know, we do have an elderly population. We're actually one of the largest elderly population as far as our percentage of population in the state.
I know that.
Yep. And we don't, and so I always look at that from a standpoint of having the services. So we have to continue to look at that piece and always being very cognizant of the people that have been here a long time. But I do want to make sure that we have an older population that does, like my mom. My mom doesn't want to see a lot more traffic because she doesn't like driving to start with.
Sure.
And so we understand that there's an older population in our community that we want to be recognizing them for them building this community. But we need to be a point where forward thinking, and we're thinking about the families. I'm thinking about my kids and grandkids and my great grandkids. What are we leaving for them?
Yes.
And so in that process, there's a balance. But we here on this side of the county have a lot of opportunity with having family activities, where it's not quite the challenge in Mount Washington. It's important for them to know that progress needs to happen or our kids move away.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh, absolutely.
that's true.
Absolutely.
We see a lot more. You don't see that migration. You'll find they'll still fairly close, even if it's a rock throw. They're not too far. There's a good community to be a part of.
Yeah.
That's the struggle we have right now, and we're getting people like they want to be here now because they see the things that are coming. And I think again, and I think it's a conversation. I'm trying to make sure that the message says, "I love you."
Right.
I want to do things for you, but
Yes.
I got kids and grandkids that need things too.
Right. Well, your energy is amazing, and people see
Drug free,
what
by
you're
the way.
doing.
Drug free. I'm gonna say that on the
There's a lot of
I got
caffeine
a
in
lot
that
of caffeine.
coffee.
But,
Absolutely.
it's good. Well, maybe is that bourbon in there?
Look,
Yeah, I'm
Might
just saying
be
it's not
bourbon.
like Mormon standards drug free. It's like
well, yeah, that's a good point.
It's like Dare
Yeah,
standards.
if they cut my vein open, by a lot of water and coffee in there.
me too.
No, you're doing great things, and it shows. It shows in the community, and people are talking, and so it's exciting.
I'm
It's
gonna
exciting
keep
times.
talking. I'm gonna give you money. Yeah.
Exciting times for both communities.
I do think that. So one of the things I want people to understand before we finish this podcast is more that do they understand that we have two strong cities? We've got LJ that's got tons of potential next 10, 20 years. We've got a well-established market in Hillview. They're
Yes.
kind of landlocked when you look at where they're at, but to keep developing more infrastructure, you got a hospital there that's great facility to have. It's for the county, but obviously it's for all of us. But it's a great impact in their community. But I think we've got, if you take the growth in what we're doing in the progress here, you take that in Mount Washington, you don't see a lot of the 120 counties having that. You've got the big cities like the Louisville, the Lexingtons, and some of the others. But really to have two cities kind of really working hard to build a community like the Bullitt
Yes,
County, I
absolutely.
think it's good for everybody.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. We're all benefiting.
Yeah, so I think with that, I think the biggest thing for me is I need people to understand that we're committed. We wouldn't have taken this job. We do understand that Facebook is true.
Yeah, it's 100% true.
All-
100%.
always.
Especially now that they've got
See,
rid of
now-
the fact checkers. Now it's super true.
Oh, yeah. No,
It probably is more true now.
I don't even know.
Honestly.
Yeah, there could be some truth to that. But I think for us, all joking aside, people need to understand that people like us and other elected officials and everybody that's in a position like this is doing it because they really want to be involved. They had a vision. They have something that they wanted to make a difference. Part of our own legacies, right? We
Yes.
want to do something that somebody says, they did that, and it was really good. So 20 years later, 30 years later, they could say that we were actually instrumental in what we did in our communities.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, so
Doing
I
it for
appreciate
the right reasons.
Yeah, and I think the thing for me more than anything else is if we keep looking at what we're going to continue to do, and we keep surrounding ourselves with good people,
Yes.
this is just getting started.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so I have a lot of fun with it. The podcasts are always fun, but I knew you'd be a nice one to have on. He could be.
appreciate
We're going to
that.
vote for him for the nicest guest we've ever had.
Nicest guest?
Yeah,
Okay.
he would win.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody.
No,
any other
there's nobody
contenders.
nice. No, I mean, I don't want to offend anyone. Well, I had Father Adam on here, my priest. I don't know if I want to actually put him like, Father first and then Stuart. 'Cause
I'll take
I got to
that.
go. Yeah, I don't know if I want to
You
do
get
that.
mentioned in.
Yeah,
in
I'll be
the-
mentioned. He'll mention me Sunday at church,
Yeah.
and then I'll be in trouble. No, all kidding aside. But Stuart, listen, it's a lot of fun. I think people will just listen. We want to share this with everybody to know who you are. You're a kind-hearted man doing a great job down there, and I know
thank
you're
you.
working hard. You're working hard to keep the community where it's at.
For sure.
And people don't realize the challenges in that.
Lots of moving parts. We're
Yeah.
trying to do the right thing and move the city forward.
Yeah. And listen, all kidding aside, I think you went through some stuff. I'm just going to put a plug in for your police chief.
Sure.
Yeah,
He's
I
awesome.
think, yeah.
He is.
He owes me money for doing this on the podcast.
He has done an amazing job.
Yeah,
in a
you tell me he owes
short
me
period of time.
$5. I want $5. Yeah, but it's good. I think he's done a good job. I'm really proud of my police chief and my fire chief and everybody in all the different positions. You know, and I think you were right. One thing about the snow, I thought the cities and the county and the state road departments did a great job this time.
They did a phenomenal
Did you think that?
Yes,
I really want to put
fantastic.
that plug in there too, because we've got good people doing those non-glamorous jobs, right? We got first
Absolutely.
responders stepping up, but when we have our public works folks and the road departments doing what they
Yes.
did, thank you so
Especially
much.
considering how bad, you know what I mean?
It was a big snow,
it wasn't
yes.
just like a dusting of snow. It was
a
pretty
big-
rough.
Yeah, so it's a good deal. But anyway, we're going to have you back. We'll do this again. We'll bring you back in about a year and go, hey, did you have hair the last time you were on this podcast? Stuart? You had a full head of hair. What happened?
Exactly.
Well, I've been mayor a little longer. No, all kidding aside. You're doing a great job, and we're glad to have
Thank
you on
you.
here.
Appreciate that.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
You're very
Yes,
welcome, man. We're glad to have you. He's got to do the deed. If you remember, when we end this podcast, there's one thing we make all guests do, and that's the love, peace, chicken grease.
Love,
Peace, chicken grease. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and you're going to go love, peace, chicken grease. Are you ready, Mayor?
I'm ready. Let's do
All
it.
right, 1, 2, 3. Love, peace, chicken grease. Hey, thanks for listening to the program, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.